Rennick's really starting to get under the skin of all these bureaucrats and also the politicians in government, and they've wheeled Bowen out for this unhinged rant.
Increasingly in social media in particular, you see people's motives being undermined or impugned. And I think that's where you get into dangerous polarisation.
I'm going to focus on some words and phrases, what Bowen says, because they always mean something. And often these guys will say words in a way that plays it down, when in actual fact they're very significant. He's claiming Rennick is causing polarisation. Well, that already exists. Of the two sides, one side is everyday Australians, comprising it's a percentage of government backbenchers, representatives and senators like Rennick, Roberts, Broadbent and a few others, Antic. A percentage of health professionals, mainly frontline GPs and nurses, small business owners, wage earners, which is your office, factory, service workers, frontline public sector workers, retirees and job seekers. On the other side of the polarisation, you've got the parasite class, starting off with government ministers, senior bureaucrats and appointments, such as the Governor-General, substantially foreign investors in banks, corporations, the ASX listed, the CEOs and also the directors, corporate welfare and the $400 billion the RBA transferred to the exchange settlement accounts of the banks is the reason why they're included in the parasite class. Media executives and disproportionately paid presenters, self-explanatory, and position holders in peak professional organisations, in particular the AMA and law societies, who align themselves with the rest of the parasite class during COVID. This is a rudimentary explanation of the polarisation based on my own observations, the way people live their lives and the carry-ons of the parasite class. Now, no doubt some people will have some omissions or even some additions. Now, Bowen and the rest of the parasite class, they want everyday Australians to believe that this polarising line that is materialised directly from decades of government policy doesn't exist. And they want everyday Australians to believe that they're simply our betters, but look, they're with us. However, they are to be unquestioned, as you're about to see.
And for example, questioning. It's not okay to question the patriotism.
He means to implicitly question their patriotism, which is always going to happen when you ask questions about their policies that they enact, because they are always for the benefit of foreigners primarily and themselves, but always against everyday Australians, which is treasonous. Therefore, implying they're traitors when questioning can only stop once they change the policy, but of course they're never going to.
Or the efficacy of our intelligence agencies.
Or breaks up the sentence, meaning what he said next is an entirely standalone statement.
The efficacy of our intelligence agencies.
Intelligence agencies are either whole or part of government departments. Now, if it's not okay to question their government departments, well, presumably that applies to all government departments, which according to this trader is not okay in 2024.
That sort of polarisation happens in the community, and we can and say do more about that.
So their intention isn't to discuss polarisation and come to some kind of consensus with the people who can see the polarisation. They know they can't convince them, so they're going to do something about it, which is the E-Safety Commissioner, newly appointed after COVID, which is very significant, and censorship of social media. Now, he doesn't just call it polarisation, he calls it dangerous polarisation, but he doesn't specify who it's dangerous to. He doesn't say dangerous for our economy, dangerous for our country, dangerous for democracy. He just leaves that blank, which leaves it open for interpretation. So, is it dangerous to their side? Or could he mean more than just social media censorship and dangerous for dissidents?
It's also happening in Parliament House, and that's not okay.
A senator's job is to gather evidence, examine it, speak to experts, and report back to you, the public, on the performance of the government and their bureaucracies.
Well, precisely, but according to Bowen, he's speaking on behalf of the parasite class, that's not okay. At the start I said it was unhinged, and the confirmation of that is in his body language. It really gives him up as being disingenuous, because he knows what COVID was.
He's saying that COVID was a conspiracy by our intelligence agencies, a serving senator of the alternative government? Really?
It's appropriate, is it, the National Press Club? God, didn't they do us proud? That was going to be the end of the video, but I just thought of one more thing.
And attacks on people's motives, including our intelligence agencies, our health bureaucrats, our climate bureaucrats, the Bureau of Meteorology, and it's not okay.
And to his credit, there's some honesty in his unhinged rant, because he just says it's not okay to call bureaucrats and government officials traitors and that their policies are against Australians. You just can't say it. But he doesn't deny that they're traitors and they're against Australians. So, he's salvaged something out of this. All right, that's it for this one. Just under 5 minutes.